Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to pass your driver's test and tell you some of the most common reasons that most people actually fail their driver's test. So let's start off with the first reason. Unbelievably, just like any other test, studies have shown that caffeine, believe it or not, caffeine is actually the main culprit of people not passing their driver's test. So you might want to slack up on the caffeine going to take your road test. Another thing, go to the area, if you know the area, or find out where you'll be taking the test and get a little practice in. Never hurts to practice in the same exact area so you kind of get the feel of the roads. Also, another unbelievable reason, sleep. People go in without enough sleep because they either have to work late or things like that. So that's definitely going to affect you, just like any other test. So make sure you guys catch some Z's. Okay, let's move on to the next reason. A lot of people fail because parallel parking. Okay, keep in mind some of the most important things, that when you're parallel parking, if you mess up parallel parking, you will not fail the test, as long as you do not hit another vehicle. Okay, I've assisted with driving classes, and also I've taken the test in a lot of other states. So I'm going to tell you right now that you do not fail for that reason. What you fail for is when you parallel park and you go and hit a curve. Yeah, that's right. You roll over the curve. Now, if you just barely touch the curve, you're okay. But don't roll over it and don't hit a car. So, as long as you don't do that, you can still mess up and you'll be just fine. The next thing you want to do is, when you're coming to a stop, make sure that you give yourself plenty of time. Okay, do not get in a hurry. Just ease off the gas. Just use enough brake to stop. Kind of goes with another thing. Keep a good safe distance. It's the little things that make the difference in the end. If you have a close score, then the little things will sway the person giving the test. I always take in consideration whether that person is paying attention to detail, and they're not necessarily Jeff Gordon, and that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for a good defensive driver, someone that's watching for things to come, not trying to perform NASCAR. So just like with the intersection, okay, when you come to an intersection, doesn't matter if you have right of way, you're in the proper lane, doesn't matter what you do. You do not change the lanes during an intersection, okay? So we'll move on to the next one. Try to keep you guys from getting bored. Well, another one of the most common silly reasons people fail, believe it or not. Now this one's kind of funny, but they go too slow. That's right. Yeah, they go too slow. So you want to make sure you don't go too slow, because that's definitely not going to help you out. Just go the speed limit. You'll be fine. You don't need to speed. You don't need to go too slow. Common sense, right? Well, some people think going slow will help. And a few other little tidbits that'll help you along your way. Believe it or not, sounds kind of funny, but some of the other tidbits would be deciding to make sure your car's clean. Make sure your car don't stink. Because like I say, when it comes down to a close score, it's really going to make the difference whether people decide to, let's go ahead, he done okay on such and such. He didn't run over a person, so that would be a reason. So it's cutting it close, and most people that fail do cut the test close. So you guys want to make sure that that's what you do. Another reason, confusion at a four-way. So it goes back to getting practice in. This way, when you pull up, you'll know exactly where to go, how to get there. Meaning that you won't pull up dumbfounded, like, which way do I go? No, you'll pull up and you'll know which way to go. So that'll take care of that problem. It's just the little things that really make the difference. And, obviously one of the most important, is adjust your mirrors, adjust your seat, adjust your steering wheel, your seat belt. This is very important because you're not going to be able to drive if so. So you want to make sure all that's done, just like when you are changing lanes. You want to make sure to check your mirrors and so forth. And another thing, you really want to make sure you check your mirrors and stuff while you're driving, because this gives the instructor a sense of security. As I stated before, you're actually paying attention to what's going on. Yeah, that's right. So paying attention obviously is a deal breaker, and if they see that you're ever so often glancing up towards your rearview mirror, they see that you have two hands on the steering wheel, unless you're driving a manual transmission and you're changing gears, and of course that's different, but you'll be just fine. So otherwise, if you have one of these guys, yeah, that's right. Yeah, like I said, slack off the caffeine. It's definitely not good for you. And make sure that you keep your safe distance. Make sure you do everything you need to do. Make sure you get your rest. You don't drink your caffeine. As I've stated several times, it's the little things that cause you to make that one mistake. Because you know what to do. Everybody knows what to do when they take a driver's test. Okay? They might say, well, I really don't know what to do because I don't know how to parallel park. Practice. And when you go into a curve, here's a test. A test that I've seen performed, and it's actually pretty effective. And it'll help you to drive a lot smoother. Take a can. That's right, a can. An empty can, like I said. Lay off the caffeine, pal. Take this can, sit this on your dashboard while you're driving. If you'll sit this on the dashboard while you're driving, don't obstruct your view. I don't mean obstruct your view or anything like that. Make sure the can's empty. Make sure it's over on the passenger side or somewhere where it can't fall over to go under your feet, pedals, or something like that. But be safe about it. So you put the can up and you drive around curves and you drive on the road and so forth. Obviously, if you hit a big massive bump or something, but if you go on curves and you can keep that can up, then you're doing a good job. So that'll show that you are driving smoothly around curves. Obviously, checking a blind spot goes back to the little things that, as I said, everyone already knows what to do. There is no secrets or no, other than just the simple fact that you need to make sure you get sleep and you need to make sure that you don't get a lot of caffeine. It's the little things we're used to doing every day, drinking our coffee or drinking our soda or whatever it is, or all of our sugar. I mean, you want to make sure you're awake, of course, but you don't have to pump out the caffeine to do so. So these little things is what's going to separate you from passing the test and separate you from failing the test. That's why I said to make sure that you get your proper sleep make sure you do what you need to do. And guys, you need to remember to stay 3 car lengths back. So make sure you stay 3 car lengths back. This will allow plenty of time for you guys to stop, so that you do not have to stop very fast, as I spoke of. So you need to be paying attention at all times and watching for them to hit their brake lights. So you definitely want to be doing this, because I know you want to be on the road. I know you want to pass that test. I know you want to be driving like everybody else, because it pretty much changes everything. I mean, it's the way you live, it's the way you work, it's the way you go to school, it's the way you eat, it's the way you do everything. So I know it's important to you guys. You'll pass the test, I'm sure of it, if you follow these simple guidelines and just get in as much practice as you can. You'll do just fine. And don't get frustrated or anything just because you decide that you failed, maybe pulling out, you hesitated or something like that. As you notice, that guy braked really fast. A lot of times that will happen. For example, the gentleman in front of this vehicle I'm following behind gave a turn signal, but we couldn't see that turn signal because the vehicle in front of us. So all we had was the brake lights, and they may not do what they're supposed to do. So that's why it's called defensive driving. You're on the defense. Make sure they're going to stop. I've seen many a times people's lights not working. You want to be prepared for that also. This gentleman's giving the turn signal. Not sure how well it's showing up there in the video. We're going where he's going. Notice as the gentleman started braking and let off his throttle well before. Came to a stop. That is one thing you don't want to do, what he just did. That's called a rolling stop. You do not want to roll and stop. You want to stop for 2-3 seconds, then you want to pull out. So, no rolling stop. 3 seconds. Wait for 3 seconds and go. Won't hurt to even wait an extra second. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Just wait a few seconds. You don't have to sit there with your stopwatch or anything hitting